Welcome to Paddlecast with Betsy
and Billy. On Paddlecast, we talk to and about paddlers who are pushing the limits, paddlers who are pushing their own limits, and pushing the limits of paddle sports. Today, we are bringing you an in-depth preview of the upcoming Surfski World Championships in Durban. The ICF Canoe Ocean Racing World Championships are being held this year in the home of surfski paddling, Durban, South Africa.
Durban is on the East Coast on the Indian Ocean, and not only was it the location of the first ICF Ocean Racing World Cup in 2006, apparently it was also where the first long-distance surf ski race took place. So supposedly this was a group of lifeguards from the Pirates Lifesaving Club in 1957. I did not know this history. I am really happy to have learned it. And of course, the conditions there for downwinding are world class.
Yeah, the organisers have made a 3-day window between the 17th to the 20th of October, and we will race the singles on the day that gives the best conditions. Now, the buzz around this event is growing. Content is going up daily now. There's some really great stuff going out there on Instagram from the Mocha team, giving out tips on how to prepare. South Africa Surfski Instagram page has just started a mini-series called Downwind Diaries. They've put out some great interviews so far with Jade Wilson, Kira Bester, and Barry Lewin. The Paddlers Pod had a great couple of interviews with Colin Simpkins, organising the race, Oscar Chalupski, and the latest ones got a lot of info on the worlds as well. Downwind Drag Race has been pinging off with a new top time from Hank McGregor. So all over the globe, people are feeling the buzz here.
I couldn't believe how fast Hank went. That was, he is fast, but it was the new fastest overall time split for Downwind Drag Race this year. I think it was a 2:47.
Yeah, a 2:47, which is going for it, isn't it? So yeah, I got a little bit worried seeing this because I'm going to be on the course, and I was sort of thinking, crikey, everyone's going to paddle off. You know, one of the tips from the Mocha team was learn where the finish is. Don't miss the finish. And I was actually sent this by someone, and I was like, no, don't worry. Like, there's going to be like 300 paddlers in front of me. Believe me, like, I won't miss the finish. And I saw Hank's time, and I was like, oh, do you know what? If everyone goes off at like, you know, at that sort of pace, like 250 pace, if there's people doing that, like, I am going to be a long way behind. Like, they may be packing up for finish infrastructure as I get there. And then actually seeing this latest one from a guy called Clint Dixon, and according to Downwind Drag Race, he is a novice paddler, and he just put down a 3:43 on the course, which I'm happy to see that. Like, if technically I don't class myself as a novice anymore, although a lot of surf ski guys will be like, no, you really are a novice. But if I could be doing sub 4s on the course, I'd be very happy if that allows, if, you know, I could put a few of those together.
Yeah, it's a super impressive split time from someone who's supposedly a novice. We don't know how novice he is, but yeah, I think you're gonna have some fast racing there.
Yeah, there'll be some fast racing. I did actually go on Clint's Instagram page and I watched a video of him paddling, and I'm not so sure novice is that fair, like, of a description of him. Like, he was paddling some big waves.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they should be very favorable conditions. And we'll put some links as well in the show notes to all of the things we just mentioned too, so you can go have a look yourself and decide, you know, how fast you really think those conditions are.
Yeah, and go on that. I mean, we're going to be in Durban for 6 days total, and we're going via Cape Town, and we're hoping to get a Miller's Run. Does not look like we're going to be able to do a Miller's Run, which I'm gutted about. Bucket list thing to do. So we were like, you know, we'll get some downwind in Durban, and, you know, if we're there for 6 days, like, I don't think there's been 6 days consecutive any time in Durban's history where they haven't had downwind conditions. So, and that is a guess. Like, if it has been, you know,
I'm gonna touch wood to make sure you've not just jinxed the entire event.
Yeah, exactly. But they've got courses to suit, like, northeasterlies or the southwesterlies. Like that's what the wind does there. They've gotten out and back just in case there is no wind. But I think from everything I'm hearing, it's going to be a great downwind.
Yeah, and like you say, a couple different courses. I think Kira was saying on those Downwind Diaries that she's gone out and tested both of those different downwind courses. No complaints from her, at least.
Yeah. No, Kira's going to be going for it, isn't she?
Yeah. And yeah, so you'll be in South Africa, and actually you're going early. So you're going to be in South Africa by the time this episode airs.
I will. Yeah. I'm going to go and race the Fish River Canoe Marathon as well as the Worlds. So yeah, it's really great the way that they've organized this sort of October calendar, because it means that some people are going to go and head out to the Fish and do that the weekend before. And then some people are going to stay out after the Surfski Worlds and do the Peak Marlin. And I'm sure I know of some that are staying longer. But it's a long way to travel for basically everyone who's not from Durban. So it's the perfect time of year. Anyone is going to go, get the most racing possible.
Yeah, it just sounds really well thought out, really ideal in so many ways. I saw the sort of promotional video when it came out for this event, probably exactly a year ago. And the FOMO started then. It continues now. It just looks like, so many of the top names are going to be there too. Like they've heard, 1 to 2 to 3 races in South Africa, get out there, enjoy some amazing downwind conditions. There's not many top names who aren't going to be there. And I think the competition is going to be incredibly fierce.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. I will just say, as you said, like the main event's happening in October. Today, I just had to book my ticket, and I've never booked a ticket for an after party, but you have to book tickets to the Durban after party. And so I'll be getting my best shirt on for the Durban after party.
Listeners who are going, take this as a PSA. Don't forget to book your after party ticket.
Exactly. Yeah. And you also have to book up the warm-up races. So I've booked all that up. I'm all booked. I'm all ready. The bag's packed. I just we need to check out some of the stuff we're going to take for the Fish, check out our new seats, and then we're out there. But we're not here to talk about my prep for the Fish, are we?
No, we have got to talk about the top contenders for Durban. Who's going to be the new surfski world champions? We'll know in just a few weeks.
Is it going to be are they going to have new surfski world champions?
This is the question, isn't it? Or are they going to, are Kira Bester and Gordon Harbrecht going to both successfully defend their titles?
Well, let's do our bets later. And let's just talk about who's in contention now. Are you going to kick us off with the women's race?
Okay. All right. So we're starting with the women's race first. So yeah, Kira Bester, reigning champion from 2024. We had a great chat with Kira a few months ago, and we have another chat with her coming up in just a few minutes on this very episode. So Kira is in great form. She won the race pretty solidly last year. She beat Michelle Byrne, another South African. Michelle is going to be racing too. So Kira, of course, is based in Cape Town, and Michelle is based in Durban. Maybe this could be a little bit of an advantage for Michelle Byrne on home waters. 20 seconds is relatively close, all things considered, especially if Michelle does have a home water advantage. But we are thinking Kira's looking pretty good. She is the defending champion. Last year, the third place overall was Anna Swedish, and she was only a few tenths of a second ahead of Melanie van den Kerk. So Anna Swedish from the United States, Melanie from South Africa. And we're not sure if Anna is going to be in Durban or not. It would be great to see her there. I think she'd be probably right up there, potentially challenging for the win. But it's unconfirmed as of this exact moment. And then I think Melanie is going to be there. So
So, I mean, that's going to be all incredibly close. We also have a former world champion returning to the race, Danielle Richards, nee McKenzie from New Zealand, this year's Molokai winner, setting a new Molokai record. So she could be easily up there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So Danielle Richards, who I think is also known as DMAC, she is a really, really strong paddler. She was world champion in 2019. And she was the runner up behind Gemma Smith of Australia in 2022. She took some time out, I believe, from surfski and surf lifesaving during the previous Olympic cycle to try and qualify an Olympic K2 with the sprint paddler Amy Fisher. Amy, of course, is the world record holder in the women's K1 500 meters. And she was new to sprint kayak in 2023. So Danielle Richards in 2023 picks up sprint kayak, and she did incredibly well. Like, she and Amy put down some really, really fast times together. They had a really impressive looking K2. And they did not end up racing together at the Olympics, but truly, like, for Danielle to pick up flatwater sprint kayak coming from an ocean racing background within, I mean, essentially like a matter of months, it really shows just how good of an athlete she is.
Yeah, definitely. Just a few months ago, she set a new Molokai record. She crossed in 3 hours, 35 minutes, taking off 13 minutes off a previous record.
Yeah, that was a crazy improvement. I mean, I know it was fast conditions there, but 13 minutes is quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was epic. Like, I'm just remembering it now from the coverage that we did get. It was like a race for the ages.
It really was. Yeah, so obviously, you know, it's been a few months since then, but still, I think she is in very good form. She must have been in great form to set a time like that and put down that kind of performance at the Molokai. So when we spoke to Kira a few months ago, Danielle was one of those athletes who she identified as really a role model and inspiration. You know, obviously she's former world champion. It's between Kira and Danielle, I think that's going to be a really incredible head-to-head matchup. And I don't think they've gone head-to-head at this level since Kira has kind of reached the form that she's been in since winning her world championship title last year, for sure. So can't wait to see those two race.
Yeah, no, it will be very good. I mean, I won't see it. There'll be, you know, I might be able, if I take some binoculars, I might be able to see it. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be between Kira, Danielle, and Michelle. And I may even push the boat out and go, I think it will be in that order. But I wasn't here to actually nail it on the order. But yes, Kira, Danielle, and Michelle.
Yeah.
And that's just a hunch. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard to say because there's also, I mean, it's literally like with what we've seen from them, the winner could be the difference of like one wave. Like they should be so close to each other that it could come down to literally just like one person catches one wave right before the finish or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to catch one wave on the course.
You're setting the bar low. I think you're.
Yeah, what a wave it was, you know. Yeah, but I mean, look, there's these three. There are definitely more names. So you know, who else have we got that's right up there?
Yeah, I do think we have some others who have like maybe a bit of an outside chance, especially like some of the younger paddlers who are up and coming. I mean, Kira is still very young, of course. I think she's just aged out of it, under 23 in this year. She was actually an under 23 champion last year. But we've got Jade Wilson, Saskia Hockley, Georgia Singa. All three of those are young up and coming names in South Africa.
Yeah, so Jade and Saskia were several minutes behind Kira last year. But Jade just won a bronze medal at the K1 Marathon Champs in Hungary, so she's in top form. In her Durban Diaries video, the guys talked about how much her confidence increased even just doing a few days of their Durban training camp. So she could go really well. Saskia has had some really impressive performances in China at the World Games in marathon. And of course, they both have got some really good surf ski racing in earlier in the year. Georgia was a junior last year, so she's first year under 23. She's getting seriously fast. I did just see in a race that they held down in Cape Town, they did actually do a Miller's Run. Georgia was pretty close to Kira, so she's getting really fast.
That's really impressive. I mean, especially for being such a young paddler too. That's
yeah.
That suggests she could be, that maybe she's made some strides since last year as well, and could be right up there near the front.
It's so cool how the depth that South African, like the whole South African surf ski scene is so deep, and like, you know, even like especially the girls, like we don't have that depth in the UK.
It's really impressive. I loved talking about that with Kira before, and I think a lot of what I took away from that too was her point about kind of world champions beget world champions, right? Like once you have that level of talent, if you do a good job building on it, you can just, you know, kind of build the success. So it's still really cool to see. And I think it is challenging for the paddlers who are split between like Cape Town and Durban, because they are quite far apart. But they have strong enough kind of bases in both areas that they're kind of able to manage that still. It's really impressive from South Africa. And who else? I think there were some other paddlers on that Miller's Run too, right?
Yeah. So Kira was the quickest girl on that Miller's Run, and she put significant time into the other women. She was a minute clear of Georgia Singer, who was a minute clear of Rosie Edwards and Jade Wilson. Rosie Edwards has gone out training in South Africa, got some time out in South Africa. She's not actually in Durban yet, but she's in Cape Town. I think I'm going for a paddle with her on Tuesday. So, but I digress again, sorry. Georgia, you know, being the closest to Kira in that Miller's, she could go really well, especially for being so young. So for the under 23s, which I know we're not going to go into depth of talking about age groups here, but you know, she could go really well in her age category, and you know what, she could be an outside bet for a podium in the overall.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And I mean, I think Rosie too, who you mentioned, coming from the UK, easily the fastest woman in the UK, and I'm sure the more that she's been training with that group in South Africa recently too, I have to imagine it's only increasing her speed.
Yeah.
Well, we've also got some other European paddlers as well. It's not all South Africans and Rosie. And I do think we could see, again, like probably more outside chances, but from Spain, there's a really good number from Spain last year, maybe in part because the event was in Madeira. So obviously being in Europe was easier for more Europeans to get to. But Judith Vergas of Spain finished 6th overall last year. So she could be up there. And Thais Delrieux of France was 3rd at Euro Challenge behind Kira and Jade. So I think she has been paddling pretty well. I know we talked about her when we recapped Euro Challenge a few months ago now. So I think that's probably, this group of paddlers is more like top 10 rather than podium, but you never know.
Yeah. Top five. They're all definitely going to be in the top 10, but you know, they're top 5 potential.
Yeah. Top 5 potential. Yeah. So I'm excited to see that. Are you taking your bet?
Well, I kind of already did. I kind of already, like, you know.
You've put your cards out already.
I kind of did. So yeah, if you go now.
Okay, so you have that Kira in order, Kira, Danielle, Michelle, which I think is pretty,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's a very solid bet.
Yeah.
I would probably bet the same. I think because Kira has been out training in Durban enough, I think, you know, Michelle's home water advantage might not be as good as if Kira like hadn't spent any time on that water, but she has been out there training. Danielle is a super strong paddler, great athlete. I mean, she could come in and win. So, I mean, maybe if I were going to bet differently than you, then I'll say Danielle, Kira, Michelle. But I don't feel great betting against
you don't have to be different.
Kira. So,
but this is why we watch it, because it's not going to, you know, our bets are not going to do it. So
we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah. So let's go on and take bets on the men's race.
All right. Thank you to today's sponsor, Carbonology UK. Carbonology is one of the world's leading surf ski brands, and notably, it is the brand of choice for reigning world champion Kira Bester. Kira won her title last year racing the Carbonology Flash X LV, the low volume ski, and she plans to race the same model this year as well. In the UK, our national champion and fastest surf ski paddler, Ryan Lark, aka Scoob, has paddled Carbonology Sport for most, if not all, of his adult ocean ski racing career. Scoob has favored the standard volume Flash and then now the Flash X, which I believe he is racing in Durban, as well as the double. And Billy, you broke the Hailing Island circumnavigation record last year in a Carbonology double with Andrew Burkett.
Yeah, we used the Flash X double. It's definitely a boat for the more experienced racers, but even though it was the first time Andy and I got in a boat together, felt really good. I had a smooth paddle around the island. It was really easy to adjust the settings. The boat ran well. And despite us having a significant size difference, the boat didn't notice it. We had a mix of flatter conditions and some waves on the first leg of the circumnavigation with rolling waves from the side. Could have been uncomfortable, but the boat handled it lovely. Actually, my very first ski was a Zest single. And I've also paddled the Boost double and the triple in the Netherlands. And actually, my first Hailing Island doubles record was in the Zest double. So I do know the range quite well.
That's awesome. Yeah, Carbonology has a really great variety of options in that range for everyone from, you know, world champions and elite paddlers all the way to beginner and intermediate paddlers, and even for kids. So definitely head over to carbonologysport.co.uk to check out their skis and other equipment from paddles and PFDs to funky pants. You can contact Alan Hunter at carbonologysport.co.uk to learn more. Back to the show. All right. So 2024 results from the men's race. Gordon Harbrecht, Flash Gordon from Germany, is our reigning world champion. He was the first world champion from Europe, which was a pretty big deal. We also spoke a few months ago about kind of just how surf ski is growing in Europe and how exciting that is. So that's really cool to see. And I think it was neat to kind of see the culmination of that in Gordon winning. He will be back to defend his title. Second place was Corey Hill from Australia. He was almost a minute behind Gordon. Corey is coming back to race as well. Hank McGregor was third, Matt Fenn was fourth, and Kenny Rice was fifth. And Matt Fenn was also the first under 23 paddler. We should mention the rule change. So there was a bit of confusion last year, right? We mentioned like Kira was the under 23 world champion, but then like Michelle was kind of the senior world champion, except she came second to Kira. So like Kira was really the world champion. little confusing with those age categories. They have changed that up for this year in what seems to be just like a very logical approach where essentially like world champion is world champion and age category is sort of secondary. So I think it makes sense. I think it's going to be helpful and sort of keep things clear. So you can still be under 23 world champion without being senior world champion. But if you're a senior, try not to get beaten by.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I think we should do in the UK, because I think I've had some overinflated results this season, winning my age group, when actually, someone who's also over 34 has raced as a senior, and then, but I come in and get all the bling. And it's not representative of the real results, but you know what, my cabinet doesn't mind it too much. So I mean it's good, and it means the right people get the right prizes, but it's minor compared to this main race and who's going to win it.
So who's on your list? Who do you think is in form?
I'm listing a lot of names, so I'm really hedging my bets here. But like Hank is flying, Kenny Rice is flying, Gordon Harbrecht is flying. He's just put up some incredible times up on Downwind Drag Race and on his Instagram. Corey Hill has been going really well, and although he was in hospital a couple of weeks ago, Yuli Hart did an extraordinary Miller's Run the other day that was time was measured from a causeway by the looks of things, and so it would have been a seriously tasty Miller's Run time. Nikki Notton is flying, just went really well at the Marathon Worlds. Matt Kotzer has also been putting in some pretty tasty times. He's under 23. Someone who I think has gone, well, he's not necessarily under the radar, but Mark Keeling, as if you're really paying attention to results, like he is going really well, and that could be very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a lot of names here. So Corey Hill, right, second last year, as you say, going well, did have a recent health scare, but has been on the water and racing since then. He is a previous multiple world champion. Now, to be fair, I mean, almost every name you listed already is a previous world champion, right? That's like the caliber of...
Yeah, exactly. So
this is.
Yeah.
And Corey raced well at Molokai. He did come second to Pat Dolan. Pat lives in Hawaii and managed to take that overall course record on the men's side in the Molokai. But Corey was right behind him. Pat, I believe, is not racing in Durban. And he is very quick. So it doesn't necessarily mean Corey is off the pace by any means.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's where Corey's at. Hank McGregor's 247 split we talked about. Gordon, I mean, he maybe doesn't get some of the same conditions in like training in Germany that the South Africans get more frequently, but he's been out there in the waves, hasn't he?
It's big conditions. They do get big conditions. And and he's putting up some seriously fast times for somewhere that doesn't have huge like tidal flow, and he's quick, but as he's not got the huge ocean swell that Durban has. Madeira was a flatter course, maybe something that will be it was advantageous to him, but that would be the one thing that everyone's going to hold over Gordon going into Durban, and they're going to be like, "Oh, can he handle the conditions?" And then, I mean, everyone all the way down the field is worried about the conditions in Durban, believe me. But he, I don't know. Gordon seems confident.
He's posted some videos lately in conditions that look pretty sizable, with the rule that what looks sizable on camera is usually even
exactly
bigger in real life.
So you know what, like this is a tight race with a huge number of very, very good people, and like I know most of that list was sort of Southern Hemisphere, but there definitely are other Europeans that will be up there. We've got Bernardo Pereira, Hector Heno, Pierre Viella, and Walter Bouzon.
Yeah, definitely some strong names there. Bernardo Pereira, I think, was the second under 23 finisher behind Matt Fenn last year. So he's gone well. Bernardo Pereira is from Portugal. Pierre Viella from France was racing at the Marathon World Championships in Gire as well. And I thought he looked pretty good out there. I think he did very well against some strong racers. Although, I mean, Nicky Naughton, as you said, he did exceptionally well at those Marathon Worlds. And as we talked about in our recap episode, I think like one of the standout moments for me was when he was able to kind of pull back into the front group from the second group, which was just like, that's always athletically hard to do, right? And particularly impressive. And like the mental strength for that too. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously surfski a bit different from marathon, but I think he could definitely be well out there.
Yeah, they're all strong, they're all fit, and it's going to come down to a really, really good race.
Yeah. So you are, let's see, are you going to pick an order for the podium?
Oh, really? Well, I just thought everyone's going to be saying in no particular order, you know, Corey, Gordon, and Hank are going to be like podium favorites, probably. But I thought, do you know what? Be really interesting. Make people think that you're an interesting person and say something, you know, like who's going to be the biggest surprises there. And having looked at how well people are going on like sort of smaller races, maybe not necessarily even in the ski, like in riverboats and in the marathon boats, Yuli Hart and Mark Keeling, I think, could upset some of these like more established like big dog names in the surfski world.
Okay. All right. Those are your outside picks.
Yeah. So yeah, they're my outside picks. Yeah.
Nice. I think that could be very interesting. We just talked to Kenny Rice about his race with Mark Keeling at the Breda River Canoe Marathon a couple episodes ago, and they did go well in that race. And Yuli Hart also raced in Hungary. He raced well there. He was the third under 23 paddler behind Matt Fenn and Bernardo Pereira at the Worlds in Madeira last year. So yeah, some good results. Could be
anyone missing from this worldwide? Like there's not many top names not going to be there.
It's a really, really competitive list. I think we mentioned Pat Dolan from Hawaii, who won the Molokai. It'd be really fun to see him in there, given how he beat Corey at the Molokai. But he's not going to be there, and neither, I think, Jackson Collins, who won the Gorge, which we talked about in our Gorge recap, he is not on the entry list either. He's from Australia, and he was in the Olympic K4 last year in Paris, silver medal winning, and just put on a really impressive performance at the Gorge. So would have been great to see him out there too. We're not sure how much surfski racing he has planned versus, you know, how much he maybe is focusing on the LA Olympics and that Olympic cycle in flatwater sprint. But and then Gemma Smith on the women's side from Australia. But I mean, those are really, there's not many other people who are missing who could be challengers for the podium.
Yeah,
it's going to be phenomenally competitive.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like this is what swung me to go out. You know, I wanted to go and do the Liffey, and you know, with the calendar change, it was a choice between like Liffey Descent and South Africa, And it's like, look, the surf ski worlds are in Durban. Like, you've got to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's, I think everyone's had that. Like, yeah, you just got to get there.
It's one of those can't miss it opportunities. Well, let's look at the doubles as well, because I think there could be some really good doubles racing.
Yeah.
So the main event for doubles is mixed gender racing, which I think is super cool. And they have also changed some of the age category rules here this year, where basically you're in a category according to the sum of your ages, with the idea being that it makes it easier for two paddlers from the same country to race together and still like represent their country, which I think is very cool. Really interested to see how that goes. The winners last year, overall, it was Yuli Hart and Georgia Singa from South Africa. They are racing together again this year. They are a very, very fast crew and a very young crew. So I think that could be really cool. And then second was Chloe Bunnett and Victor Rodriguez from Spain, and Walter Buzan and Judith Vergas from Spain last year. So Buzan and Vergas are returning again. I think they could be another top crew again, potentially. But that second place crew from last year, Chloe and Victor, are racing again, but with different partners. So not sure how they're going to go. But I think the French crew, which is Pierre Valea and Thais Del Rieu, who we talked about in, maybe some of those kind of top 5, top 10 groups in the singles racing, I think they could go really well. And Valea didn't race doubles last year. So I'd put the sort of French crew as maybe an outside pick.
Yeah, I could well go very
maybe
well.
Not outside.
We've also got maybe not outside. We've also got Josh Fenn and Jade Wilson. Neither of them raced doubles last year. They could be a very fast crew. But I think the UK crew of Rosie Edwards and Terry Michael could go really well. Two people who are on the doubles entry list but without a partner next to their name are Kira Bester and Mark Keeling.
So we will have to find out if they have plans to race doubles, because either of them would be a formidable crew in the doubles race.
Yeah.
We've also got another UK doubles team that I'm interested in. So Ryan Lark, who goes by Scoob, is our fastest male paddler from the UK. He's won everything that he raced this year. And he has teamed up with Melissa Johnson, who is a previous national marathon champion. And she raced for GB at the World Games in Chengdu in marathon. I am not sure how much surf ski racing she has done, but obviously she's fast on flat water. So I will be very interested to see how they go.
Yeah. I think they will be pretty good. Scoop's flying.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, I think the doubles racing is going to be great. We supposedly Oscar Chalupsky is going to be on commentary for anyone who's tuned into the live stream.
Yeah, he was going to race, wasn't he? But then he's in hospital again. So he's now on the commentary team, which, will be a great bonus to the commentary team. But, sad for him.
Yeah, I think he was really looking forward to racing. He's a death-defying machine. So very impressive person and paddler. But I am looking forward to at least hopefully hearing his commentary, which I think is going to be a treat for everyone who's not able to be there in person.
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
Well, with that, here is our conversation with Kira Bester. Welcome, Kira. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. For the second time, I'm back again, and it's exciting to be back. Thanks.
It's great to have you back. We have a lot of questions about Durban, but Billy is going to start us off.
So you're a Cape Town paddler, and the conditions in Durban are quite different to Cape Town and the rest of the world, really. But you've been out in Durban testing them out. And how are you finding the conditions, and what should international racers expect?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I'm a local at all, by all means. I'm very much a Cape Townian, and so what I'm used to isn't really the Durban conditions, as you've just mentioned. But I was there in July on a little bit of a training camp, and I was there to just chat with the locals, try out the courses, kind of just get my own idea of what to do, what not to do, what to look out for. And yeah, it's a really cool place in the sense that you don't need a lot of wind to actually have a downwind there, because with the Durban coastline, what I found while I was over there is that there's three main factors that come into play with the Durban coastline. So you have your primary swell, which is the swell from the ocean. Then you have your secondary swell, which is wind chop and wind generated waves. And then the one that is very unique to Durban, and I I don't find this often across the world, is the play the current has on your speed. So with the Durban coastline, you can have a really, really great downwind, but the current could be going against your face, and you'll be seeing, or you'll be feeling as though you're going so, so fast and as if you should be hitting PB splits. But when you look down at your watch, you'll be absolutely shocked and horrified to find that it's maybe like 3 or even 4 kilometers per hour slower than what you were predicting. And that's the beauty of Durban, is that there's just so much on the day that can happen, that it's so unpredictable, and that like kind of to a degree opens up the field to be more, I would say, it's just less fixed. Like the men's field, there's so many good people there, and it's just going to be based off of who's going to take the better line, who has less head current, who has more primary swell, all those kinds of things. And yeah, so what I would say the international people can definitely expect is, I would reckon, a good downwind, potentially some swell. Unfortunately, it's going to be it could be very, very scary coming in. So I'm really, really hoping for the boats manufacturers part that we have a buoy finish at the back line, and then you can come in maybe during a lull, because that can be very damaging. When I was over there, I got destroyed multiple times, over and over and over and over again. And I would say that I'm pretty good at catching waves, because I come from a lifesaving background, and I've grown up with swell, and I used to surf and all that stuff. So for me to say that it can be pretty raunchy is, yeah, uh, I think people are gonna have fun, or they're gonna be scared. But I would say just don't stop paddling. Do not stop paddling. Commit to it. Don't back out, because if you back out, it's done. I'm sorry, you just done. Then it's probably going to cost you your boat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's great to know. You've really filled me with confidence. So tell us, rather than scaring us about this break, tell us about the conditions. So we're more likely to get southwesterlies or northeasterlies, aren't we, on this section of coast? And as we just before the interview, you were like, let's look at the long range forecast. So we already know that you're starting to look at the forecast, even though everyone knows there's no point in looking at a forecast this far out. But it's good to know where your head's at. Tell us, if we're going to get either of these wind conditions, what are we expecting? Like, how well does it line up with each wind direction?
Yeah, so I would say that the southwesterly is my choice when it comes to course options. It's the longer option. It's the 34-kilometer route, and so this could also be dependent on whether they actually do put a buoy out there at Umhlanga or not. So yeah, the rumor is that they will be putting a buoy out there at Umhlanga, which will be a compulsory safety thing we'll have to do. But hopefully that isn't the situation, just because if you do the southwest coast, you don't want to have to come in the Umhlanga. Just you don't want to be hugging the coast when you're at that part in the race. You want to be a little bit deeper. So yeah, for me personally, that would be the best option, that course, because yeah, I just enjoy it. I enjoy the feeling of being so deep in the water, because you really do end up going super duper deep. And you have a lot of wildlife out there, loads and loads. We saw like 3 whales, we saw dolphins, turtles. It was just incredible. And the runs are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They are so exquisite. They link up really well. You can kind of catch them and, in my opinion, get quite good splits relatively easily with minimal effort. The other course is good. It's not that it's not good. It's just a little bit. It's not that there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, in my eyes, more boring. It's not as exhilarating and as exciting. And I'm sure it can be, because I was only there for a short while. So I don't want to say that it can't be, but just based off of what I personally experienced while being there, I would choose the DUC to Westbrook course.
But does the other course line up as well?
The other course lines up really well, yes.
Then we're pretty good. We're personally, if I see a dolphin, I'm going to be really scared until I know that it's a dolphin. If I see a fin poking out the water, I'm going to be really worried. The shore break is going to be the least of my concerns.
Oh, until you get there.
yeah. But at least I know that there's no sharks. Different people have told me different things about the sharks. So let's leave them there.
Yeah, let's leave them there. They are there, and unfortunately, you can't do anything about it. It is what it is. The Amanzimtoti course does have more sharks, though. Just to put it out there.
Okay.
So
cool.
you also want the Westbrook course.
Okay, I'll go.
I think we're really scaring people off now. We've got like the shore break, massive waves, sharks.
It really is going to be unique.
Yeah, it sounds it. I'm looking forward to Villa Joyosa next year. Should we do a Villa Joyosa preview?
Yeah, we should. I've done that before. It's beautiful. That's nice and chilled, in my opinion.
No sharks and not huge shore breaks. So anyway, on a serious note then. So that is my question done, actually. Oh, well, and it's now Betsy's question.
Okay, we've got a pretty good idea, I think, of those conditions now. But Kira, when we last spoke in May, obviously your preparations have been going really well. It's been a few months since then. You've been out to Durban. How ready are you feeling? How have you been going lately with your prep for this race?
Yeah. So when we chatted last in May, I was on a high, and I was driven by momentum for having won those 3 races, and it kind of put me on top of the world. Feeling with the training, it felt as though training was paying off really well. And then after we chatted, I really wanted to kind of focus on just changing my way of doing things by adding a little bit more balance into life, and kind of having more social time, but still training really hard, but just trying to find that balance between things so that it could sort of just be a bit more sustainable. And then life happened. Some bad things happened. My coach died. He died on the water, which was really, really traumatic, I think, for all of us. And we all had to try our best to just work together the last few months to just keep each other consistent like he did, and to try and just live by his ethos of pitching even when you didn't want to, even when the weather was shit, all of those kinds of things. And it's been tough. It's really, really, really tough. He was a very, very important part of all of our lives, I'd say. And like there was that big what now question that I think surfaced in most of our heads, because really what now? Because this pillar of a man that really he gave you structure, he gave you direction in the sport, and specifically for surfski, and like he just helped you get to the place you want to be, and now there's just this void. So yeah, it's been tough. I've been really, really just focusing on training. Honestly, I've been kind of numbing my feelings in a very bad way with my training. It's been kind of my coping mechanism, and it's made me to a degree feel a lot closer to him, because I'll paddle and then I'll paddle where he ended up passing away, and then I'll think of him and I'll think of how that was the changing day in my life. And yeah, he's there still, I think, for all of us in some or other way, and it's difficult, but I'd say training all in all is pretty good, just because I've been training so much to just numb myself. But there's definitely going to be some questions to ask in the up and coming year of how to go forward and to how to maintain the squad, because there's so many up and coming juniors. There's not only the juniors that we know of or that we speak about, but like the very young ones that have so much potential, and it would be very sad to see them, fall out of the loop of the sport. So yeah, we'll see. It's definitely going to be different this year. I would have loved to have him there. It was going to be the first Worlds that he would have been there with us, and I'd pictured that he was going to be at that finish line and he was going to welcome us in like he did at SA Champs. He like absolutely embraced me, and he was like, "Yo, I told you, you didn't miss it this time. Well done." Because I always end up messing my race up somehow. And yeah, I'd like pictured that was going to be the finish, but now I'll just have to do it in a different way. But it's for him. This whole next bit of racing, I'm absolutely dedicating to him. He put me into the sport and he believed in me. So yeah.
Yeah, and I saw in the weeks after you guys were putting out hashtags, what was it? Best for Pete?
Best ever, yeah.
Best ever, yeah. And at that point I was like, wow, someone from Orca Squad is going to step up here at this Worlds, and could be a few of you. And actually loads of you guys have had like some pretty good results, like all across the board. Like there's a lot of people going very well from that Orca Squad.
Yeah. Well, you have to. You really do. You do well because of your environment, and everyone keeps each other accountable. And Pete lived by that. He lived by the ideology that you must work as a unit together, and then that will kind of bring the best out of each person. And it also prevents people from slacking. It prevents people from not wanting to show up, because you're seeing the person you're racing going to your training session. And yeah, so I'm sure there will be. At the moment, Kenny and Nikki and Graham Solomon have all kind of not gone into the space of, but they have volunteered to, for the time being, just run the squad. But we'll see what the future holds, and how it progresses.
So we spoke in May, and we talked about a few names who may try and stop your title defense. In particular, Daniel McKenzie and Michelle Byrne. But you've also got potentially Georgia Singer, Jade Wilson, Milani. Is there anyone else you can think of that could challenge you for the title or the podium?
So again, I would say we did briefly touch on this the last time we chatted, but I would say my answer has evolved since then, and I think because of the course being so driven by different factors, like I mentioned, and all of those different factors being such potent components in whether you're going to go fast or not, I would say that it's pretty open, in my opinion. I think a European could even take it, honestly. I don't think it's going to be specific to who has done well in the past. I also think that when I was over there in Spain, I really saw and I was inspired by the fact that the women's field has really increased in depth and obviously in volume. But that was a really cool thing to see. And I would really not be surprised if a really strong European comes out and just takes all of us out. I mean, it's very possible. Obviously, I want to do my best and I will do my best. And that's not even up for question, but I don't want to kind of marginalize it down to just some people, because I really, really believe that there are more people than just the general or the past people that do well.
Yeah, no, fair.
Yeah.
It is that, the course could play a big role. So, and of course we don't want to, you've had a tough year, obviously, and we don't want to kind of set you up for not meeting all of your goals and expectations. But it's going to be great to see you race regardless. And hopefully it's a tight race at the front. I think with the level that the field is at, it should be pretty close racing.
Potentially. I'm hoping that it's not, in all honesty. I'm obviously hoping that, the training does pay off, and that one or two of us manage to break up the bunch and, break away. But yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's really, that's the beauty of surfski paddling, isn't it? It's the fact that it's so susceptible to different conditions, different subjects in what you actually interacting with. And like I mentioned to another person the other day, was, for all I know, like a whale could come up and breach and it could land on my boat and break it. And that has happened, like I've literally broken my boat before by hitting a whale. Like the whale was busy breaching, broke my boat. So you can't even say to me, no, that isn't possible, because it is, especially along that coastline where there's so much marine life. You might just get hit out of your boat by a dolphin. I don't know. Like this, that's surfski paddling for you.
Well, let's talk about some of your competitors. On the assumption that no one's boat is broken by a whale or dolphin, which would certainly make things exciting. Not that I'm hoping for that to happen. We after we had spoken, Danielle Richards went on to win and set a new record at the Molokai by quite a lot. But we haven't seen too much else from her. I know we talked about her as kind of like one of the people who you most look up to in ski. Is there anything else that you've seen from Danielle that makes you, a little bit nervous about how fast she might be? Or is it just kind of show up and see how it goes?
I don't think you can ever underestimate DMAC. She's just a weapon, honestly. She doesn't need to train a lot to do well, and she's just got that background experience with catching runs and surfski paddling. So, you must never ever underestimate her. And she's got a really, really strong competitive drive, which makes a really good combination between the skill sets and then obviously the drive. So Yeah, I haven't seen much from her or heard much. So I don't know from that point whether she is on form or not. It's just the little Kira in me that's always kind of looked up at her and like wanted to beat her and wanted to be as good as her. That yeah, I won't look past the fact that she could be absolutely firing right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's saying the same about you, though. So
yeah, I don't want to talk a big game and not be able to deliver. That's the thing. Like, I'll just my racing be the like we can have another interview after my race and then we'll chat. But like, I don't want to talk.
Then you can talk.
Yeah.
what? So can we do an interview where you're all cocky and arrogant about the result if it goes well?
By all means. Yeah.
I feel like we're getting the picture here. I feel like yeah. I would not bet against you.
Thank you.
Well, one name we missed off when we last spoke, we thought Anna Swedish wasn't going to be there. I did hear Jade Wilson mention that she was, but I haven't seen her on the entry list. Do you know if she is going to race?
I don't think she is. I haven't heard. I haven't heard that she is, but I think she's actually focusing on her last year of university. So I think that's kind of taken the main stage this year for her, which is a shame because it would have been ideal conditions for her, especially since I think this is her last year under 23. So yeah, she's a beast. Really, she is. She's really a good downwind paddler. So it would have been cool to have her here and obviously being able to take on some of the big stuff. So maybe she does come. I hope she actually does. I really, really do. But from what I know, I don't think she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we just go back to conditions briefly? And I've heard loads of different stuff about like how it's lining up. I've heard a lot like you're gonna get you are gonna have to work the wind and then turn with the swell. Like how easy does it line up like swell and wind, or is it going to be a case where you really are going to be having to work and work it?
So let's do the DUC to Westbrook first. That course is pretty technical. Yes, it does require you to work with the wind and then to catch the runs of the actual primary swell. So it's definitely the more difficult one out of the two options. And yeah, it's not just from your back at all. It's not from your back at all. You might have for the last, if you don't end up going in there at the Umhlanga Boy, then you'll have your last 15 Ks probably from your back, which isn't bad. But if you go in at Umhlanga and you have to hug the coast like they're wanting you to, it is gonna be appalling, unfortunately. Just because, so if I have to draw it for you, let me actually draw it for you. Let's just get some paper here. So you'll have here's your piers, okay? Then you've got like a bit of a round thing, and then it goes like that. Okay, can you see that? No way, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about Umhlanga. Okay, there's the start. Okay, so what happens is the wind will go, so the wind will come like this, right? But the swells are going to come in like that. So now you're obviously going to be sitting with if the buoy is just off here, and this also like drops down, it drops away like that. You're now going to have a side-on wind, basically, and then you're going to have the swell pushing you in all the time as well. Whereas if you can maybe take a line like here, let's say you take your line like this, then you're going to have a bit more playroom to be able to kind of work in, work out, work in, work out. Whereas here, you're literally not going to be able to work in almost. So that's the DUC to Westbrook. Then let me draw the asymptotic course for you.
So basically, I'm going to give it a bit of audio. There's a swells kind of pushing you in a similar but sort of offset direction from the wind.
Yes. And then this is so again, there's the start, then there's the pier, then you've got like this weird thing here. There's the whaling station, and then the coastline goes like that. So you would then have, generally the wind will come like that. So that's a good wind for you. You can play around with that quite nicely. And then you've got all your shore breaks here. There's quite a bit of shore break along this coastline, but the wind really does line up nicely with the coastline. It's literally just from your back, and you don't have to do too much to catch the waves. Whereas with the Westbrook course, it's very much dependent on whether that buoy is there or not. If the buoy isn't there, you're fine. But if the buoy is there, it's going to be tough.
Quality content. Will they be included on the official race website, do you think, as course descriptions?
Sounds like a plan.
Well, that could be okay. And I mean, the course then, if it is more technical, right, that could favor perhaps a slightly different group of paddlers than something that's a little bit easier. I'm not sure at the top end how much of a difference that'll make, though.
True. I also don't know. Look, I think the top end is familiar with conditions like that regardless. That's the separation between a good paddler and a great paddler. So I do think that especially people like Michelle Byrne who grew up along that coastline, you know, that's literally what she knows how to do. That's how she started downwind paddling. So, you know, she's going to be so good with knowing how to use the primary, secondary, and then the current. She's just going to ace it. So, yeah, if people want any knowledge, I would suggest like either speaking to her, Matt Bowman, people that are locals and that are willing to open up about it, because it's a lot of things that could come into play, and it's a easy way to get faster without actually having to train.
Yeah, nice. So when are you heading up? When are you going to get on course for your final practices?
So I'm doing my last bit of training now in Cape Town, and then I leave on Thursday. We're driving up, and then we'll arrive there on Friday. And then on Friday, I'll do probably just like a short little paddle at DUC, the start. Maybe just go tap around, just try and kind of get the legs stretched out and whatnot. And then if the wind allows, I'll try and do both courses once at least. And just take them super duper slowly, no rush in the world, and just playing around with looking at my watch and actually kind of deciding which line is faster based off splits. And then, I would say a really good recommendation for any international athlete is to go to those finishes and to just do a little bit of a paddle out and try and just find a line coming in, one, through the shore, and two, where you're going to be lining up to actually come in. So at a asymptotic, it's easy because there's this really high building, which you can aim for from almost kilometer 8, which is great. So that makes it easy. But I know that the Westbrook course, there's no real lining factor that you can look at. It's pretty much just your judgment. And so for the potential Westbrook course, you want to go out at Westbrook and literally just paddle out maybe 3-4 Ks, come back in and do that maybe 3 times to just get a feeling of what depth you want to come in, how you want to come in. And then also consider the fact that you might actually be coming in all the way if it's not a buoy finish. So practice catching the runs into the waves and looking out. There's a big current there at the Westbrook beach that wraps to the right. So you also want to look at the different currents that come into play. And the weird thing about Durban is there's like little currents along the coast that don't necessarily go the same direction as the main current. So you might feel as though the current is pushing you out or pushing you in, but the reality is it's actually just specific to where you are right then and there. So again, it's very specific to the day. It's specific to what wind's been blowing. But the locals will have that knowledge, and it's important for all the internationals to try and get that out of the locals if they're willing to tell them. Yeah.
That sounds like a good plan. I think we have one last question for you. We are desperate to know if you are going to race in the doubles race as well.
That's a good question. Very good question. So I will be racing it. I won't be racing it if it is before my singles, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say it is afterwards. I'll be racing with Kenny Rice, which is going to be awesome. He's also in the Orca squad, so we train together all the time. And I mean, he's been with Pete for really, really long, since he's been a little child. And I think we both would dedicate a podium, if we do end up podiuming, to Pete, because yeah, he saw Kenny when Kenny really didn't have much to offer, and I feel very much the same way about myself with how Pete saw me. So it's weird that we're together in a way, because I feel like we're very similar with what people would have thought with the potential we had. And then, yeah, Pete was there to just say, you can do it. And we both ended up becoming world champions. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the timing lines up right, because, yeah, that would be very cool to see you and Kenny out there together.
Yeah, and I think the combinations are going to be fantastic. They are looking very, very strong. So it's a cool new, I know it's not exactly new, but new because we can have so many nice boats now. There's the availability of high performance doubles now in this World Champs, and it's really going to open up a new avenue to racing, I think, for potential world champions, because you don't necessarily then have to be a singles paddler. You can really focus on having a strong mixed double combo and still be a world champion that has just as much, fame and whatever that the single people have. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks. Did you have another particular podium pick for the doubles? We talked through ours yesterday, so.
Ooh. So I don't think I know the podium, but I'll tell you who I'm really intrigued to see combine, and that is Jade and Josh. They combining, and I think Matt Bowman, Michelle Byrne, Pippa and Hank. I think Hamish Lovemore and Saskia. Or it could be that, I think that could be the combination, but I know that Hamish might not be doing it because he might be taking off. So otherwise, I think it's going to be Matt, Sven and Saskia, depends. Who else? We've got obviously Kenny and Kira, me, and then we've got, I don't want to miss anyone out, Georgia and Uli, which is a very strong combination.
Yeah.
We've got, who else? We've got a lot of junior combinations that are also looking very, very strong, which could very well be a wild card in there. So, yeah, it's going to be a nice tight one, and it's going to be super fun to actually dice it out, because usually you go to Worlds and it's one race and that's all you kind of look out for. But this is, it's exciting. It's a real race. It's a big race.
That's going to be epic. Yeah, I think some of those are not lined up yet on the entry list. So you've given us some good insights there. And there's some good European crews too. So let's see.
Mm. And I think that DMAC and Davy Brand might be going together, but I don't know because of the country thing where you want to kind of represent your country and they represent your country.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that could also be a strong combo.
Very cool. That one's going to be a good race. Well, thank you so much for your time, Kira. Anything else that we missed before we wrap it up?
No, some big races coming up though. That's going to be exciting. I'm doing most of them, so that's going to be a big block of racing. And then obviously also all the racing opportunity next year for surfski is looking really amazing. It's an awesome opportunity to grow the sport, I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's wrap it up with that then. What are the next 5 races or something that you're most excited about?
So World Champs singles, World Champs doubles, but I'll just combine those two. I'll just say the ones I'm doing. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to race Pete Marlin singles and doubles. I'm going with Jade Wilson again. We're racing together, and obviously singles. Then it's a week off, and then the following week we go to do Dragon Run. Milani and myself are heading through. I'll be racing on my birthday, so hopefully it goes well. And then the evening of my birthday and the evening of the race, I head over to do the reunion races. I'm going to meet Jade there. We race there the following week after Dragon Run. And then from reunion, we head over to WA race week. And then from race week, come home, have a little bit of a break, and then doing Cape Point.
That is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's going to be in a matter of weeks, really.
Yeah, it's a short period to do a lot of racing. What's the cool part about it is the fact that it's like the distances vary so drastically. You've got really short, tight races, and then you've got Cape Point distance races. So we'll really see whether my training up until now has paid off or not.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much, Kira. It is extra special to have you on for a second time. And it is always so insightful and lovely to chat with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and yeah, see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, and I'm looking forward to getting out there.